we lost.
Hello. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh man. That's quite a view there.
Nice.
Hi.
So how are you guys? All good?
Yeah. You're good. How are you?
I'm good. Just
Yeah.
a bit tired, but I'm okay.
Yeah, we're all a little bit tired.
You're
it's
holding
Sunday.
up pretty good today. You're holding up quite well. So
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, who are you? I'm Gigi Carma. This is Edgy.
Hi, I'm Edgy.
So she's the rapper. I'm the vocalist of the hip hop duo that is Edgy and Gigi Carma. So that's the two counterparts.
Yeah.
Bouncing off each other.
Yeah,
energetically.
and I know some people like don't know this, but we are actually twins. We do look alike, but some people would be like maybe sisters. We used to look a lot more alike, but now we have our own styles, as you can see.
Yes, we
So we're a twin hip hop duo. Yeah, Edgy and Gigi Carma.
Sexual assault is the meaning of the perpetrator's non-sexual needs for power, domination, and their expression of anger rather than sexual gratification.
So girls, I'm curious about one thing now.
Yes.
When did you discover that talent that you have, like with singing? Like, you had any influence at home, or was some band that influenced you?
We started listening to a lot of hip hop music, and it was very much influential amongst our friend group.
Yes, definitely influenced by our friends group very heavily.
Yeah, and then we would have been disconnected with making music at the time, but then we had a loss in our family.
Yeah, we lost our dad at the age of 17, and that's when we decided to get back into music as a way to process a lot of the things, because when you're this young and you're always kind of protected by the world, from the world by your parents, and you have no idea of all the other bad stuff that's out there because you're that young and you're still kind of very much protected and unaware. So when that happened, it was a very big shock to us as a family and as a
to our system,
to ourselves, to our nervous system, and having to deal with that so young. And
There's
now
a lot of grief to process, wasn't there?
Yeah, and not really knowing that, like, oh my God, stuff like this actually happens, and you can, our dad was always like very healthy and strong man, and he was only like age of 42, so you never really thought that like it's him that's gonna go first, and so that was a lot of stuff to have to experience, and that's when we decided to come back into music to
process our emotions. Yeah,
right. And the music was still full of a lot of pain at the time, because that's literally the pain coming out and the grief coming out, and that's when things kind of started to clear, that we started to focus on the process of actually performance then, and say, there's so much pain in the world and so much suffering that maybe we want to just have some fun more now on stage, and how can we do that? How can we have a better stage presence? How can the music be a little more catchy, and kind of basically start to have fun as we move past that stage of our lives.
Yeah, and to get like really interacting with our creative side and what we want to say and what our message is, and as sort of like women standing in the music industry,
especially
in a way,
hip-hop.
and especially hip-hop. So that would have been kind of intense at first, because it is a scary thing. It's like one moment people just know you as a regular person, and then the next thing you're like, oh, I want to be a musician now. And it's kind of like bursting that illusion for a lot of people, that perception that they might have had of you, and then all of a sudden you kind of nearly have to prove yourself at first. But then you go through this like journey of processing. You're like, actually, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. I'm doing this only for myself, because I love the creativity and the impact that music can have on other people.
Takes away for you and send the gas for your right to a breath, so that your destiny will never have met, as your human body is being given for another to let. A thief in the night, a thief in the night.
Well, actually, we can bring a very different flavor to the table. Not only, doesn't mean we can't rap about these things, but we can rap about so much more because there's so much more freedom being a female in the rap game, in the rap scene, and we've had a lot of fun with that. I wrote a lot of music about actually, my relationships, my previous relationships, but we have a lot of music about other stuff. We don't mind going to the parts about the world that's like very socially taboo to discuss. So we've written songs about like the rape kind of culture and what happens and the pain of that experience. Not that's something we experience ourselves, luckily, but we felt like there's so many things out there that people are scared to talk about, and we've chosen to talk about any other kind of topics. So we've had a song called Chrysalis about the gay community as well, and kind of like how sometimes someone's okay to be out there and loving someone where they fall in love with someone who doesn't want to be out there and who doesn't want to be out of the closet and things like that. So it's like we want to kind of connect to people in very different ways, and not be afraid to kind of also learn a lot about the world through that process as well ourselves, because it's like, well, we don't know much about that, but I'd like to learn more, and that's our way of connecting. And many people actually have come forward when they've heard some of those different songs that touch on those very taboo topics. We had people approach us and sharing their very personal, vulnerable life stories, which is crazy. Like, to think that it created this open space for someone to actually approach and share these very vulnerable parts that maybe they've never even talked about before, never thought that they could. And that's powerful.
Yeah, because I think that song we wrote about like rape culture and just like sexual harassment in general, and it was called Thief in the Night. And I just remember like that like vulnerability you feel on stage, because you're really like poking the monster in the eye a little bit, and it's like I don't know, it opens up this very strange energy in the room, because it's one of those things that people don't like to openly speak about, and you're really like shouting at people's faces with this subject, and you're like, look at it, like this is the issue with our society, like this is something that needs our attention. So it's kind of like you kind of have to be a little bit badass about it and sort of not be scared, because there's so many people that get affected by this, and like there's been girls that literally have approached us with their stories, and it was actually very sad, to hear. But they even said to us, they were like, it's so beautiful to see other women speak about this issue, because they know how it directly affects us. So it's like giving a voice to those that are directly affected by something so big.
Yeah, we've been approached by like Galway Feminist Collective as well when they heard our set at our first festival that we ever performed at, which was Eru, the Irish Burning Man. And that's actually how we got one of our gigs, is because of the music and the lyrics and the content that it represented, and how we kind of created this voice for females and women, and just in general, like I said, opening discussions that people don't normally talk about. And remember, we got brought over to Galway and we got to stay there for the night, and we got a booked gig out of that, and we got to be part of an amazing group of women that we got to meet and actually share our lyrics on the night. That was crazy. That was really cool.
I remember reading a poem that night as well. Because I kind of write poetry, so it's not just like lyrics that I write, but like I suppose poetry is like lyrics without the melody, really. But I just like the delivery of a poem as well, because it can also have like a whole other kind of feel to it with the way that you can deliver the idea, So it's a lot of fun.
We already covered a good bit of the ground today.
That's good. I'm really happy.
Did a nice little walkies in, a bit of exercise and fresh air. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Getting so much fresh air. I'm like super giddy now because there's like so much oxygen.
Natural high, yeah.
There's gonna be some new music and surprises and other bonus tracks that we don't want to give too much away. But we're very excited to finally release this project and then move on to other amazing things. And like I said, many collabs on the way, some solo projects.
There's gonna be some remixes of the tracks as well.
Remixes of the tracks.
Well, we're not gonna say too much about that, but
we like to keep a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, so my Instagram is double G Carma with a C, so GG Carma, and I'm Edgy on Instagram, but my full name is like aglavalunite, but you can easily find me if you just put in Edgy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pretend like I don't know the right thing to do as the you running off to spend time with your old crew as we lose